What if I told you that the sound of footsteps in your favorite game isn't just random noise? But a hidden message, a secret language painting a vivid picture in your mind, hinting at what lies ahead, or worse, what is creeping behind you. A picture not seen, but heard. Is there a word for that? And what if the soft crunch of snow beneath your boots wasn't just a sound effect, but an illusion so convincing, so perfectly crafted, that it tricked your brain to feel that icy chill in the air? Sound isn't just something you hear, it's a story, it's a guide, and more often than not, a warning. And it's everywhere, even when you don't notice. It's working, quietly shaping your gaming journey. Sound engineers and designers use tools like Wwise to blur the line between the blue pill and the red pill, catering to one of our five senses, hearing. You see, we live in a world dominated by visual. Graphics get all of the attention. Shiny ray trace reflections, ultra realistic character models, that jaw-dropping sunset. But here's a challenge. Turn the sound off. Play your favorite game on mute. It's funny because we rarely notice sound when it's good, but when it's absent, or worse, bad, it sticks out like a sore thumb. But sound is more than just a filler. It's a tool for immersion, storytelling, and yes, emotion. So let's take a journey through the history of game sound and talk about one of those unsung heroes. That logo you sometimes see booting up a game, like in Space Marine 2? Yeah, have you ever wondered what it actually does? Wwise is short for WaveWorks Interactive Sound Engine. It's a powerhouse audio middleware solution. Simply put, it's an authoring tool and an audio engine. It lets you both create the experience and then play that experience back in the game. But before we explore some games with Wwise and how it works, I'd like to take a quick trip with Miss Fizzle to an era where hardware dominated and software like Wwise were just a pipe dream. Timestamps are below if you want to skip ahead. Before the immersive soundscape of today, audio had humble beginnings. In 1971, Computer Space became the first video game with sound. Its simple analog effects weren't fancy, but they served a purpose: to communicate action. In the not-so-distant future, some big hitters came along. Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Mega Man. They all had their iconic sounds. But how were these early sounds created? Something called Programmable Sound Generator, or PSG. It's a hardware chip on the motherboard, and the game sends the code to this controller. The PSG was like a DJ turning dials like pitch, volume, and waveform, and through its tiny 8-bit memory, created sound. Sure, these sounds weren't realistic, but they were memorable. And more importantly, they were functional. Again, giving players feedback on what was happening inside of the game. And as time went on, PSGs got a little fancier. Consoles like the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo brought more audio channels, better sound quality, and here's a big one, actual music. Composers now had the tools to create soundtracks for the game. The result? The audio became more than just functional. It started enhancing the story. And what came after the 80s? You guessed it, the 90s. And with it, the CD-ROM era. This was a huge leap forward for game audio. One of the first games to showcase this was Myst from 1993. With its soundscape and eerie audio, it used sound to create the sense of mystery and unease that was almost tangible. But even as audio quality improved, many games were still limited by space. Developers often used sequenced audio. It's essentially pre-programmed musical scores to save on storage space. Still, this era pushed boundaries and paved the way for something even bigger: adaptive audio. Now, adaptive audio isn't a new idea. Even back in 1978, Space Invaders used a clever trick. The music sped up as you got closer to clearing that level, ramping up tension. The real breakthrough happened in the early 2000s. Consoles like the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube introduced us to surround sound, dynamic soundscapes. This is where music and effects adapted to players' actions in real time.
But also, it's like the failure count is rising.
Yeah, I wouldn't joke about it if I was you. Yeah? The station's not secured. Someone decided to play hero upstairs.
That's all we need.
One of my favorite examples from this era is Halo Combat Evolved from 2001. Its use of sound, combined with the unforgettable score, set a new standard on how audio could elevate a game.
That's the ship! Move! We need to get aboard now!
But it was still difficult to implement sounds into games. And as games and audio got more complex, tools had to follow suit. And that logo we looked at before, Wwise, it was introduced in 2006 by Audiokinetic, a company based in Montreal, Canada. Wwise is an audio middleware, the bridge between the creative minds of sound designers and the technical world of game development. It allows audio designers to create dynamic, adaptive audio without needing to hard-code every little detail. Remember playing Baldur's Gate 3? When you're
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, that's Wwise. But how does it really work and what needs to happen? First, outside of Wwise, you first have to record the audio files. People like Foley artists, voiceover actors, and composers, they create these files, and then Wwise has to ingest it. Then the sound engineers use it to build the game's audio library. Everything from the footsteps and explosions to the music and ambient noises. They add rules and parameters telling the game how to play these sounds based on what is happening. Then game engines like Unreal and Unity and many others talk to Wwise. Hello, what now? I got this. Cue explosions. Higher sounds. Music. Triggering sound as players move, interact, and explore. One of Wwise's coolest feature is the ability to create spatial audio. The sense that the sound is coming from a specific location in 3D space. So you're playing Stalker 2, you're running down this corridor and you hear some noise coming from the left side, and it sounds like it's behind the wall. And then you get closer and then you look and then you walk through that door.
Poor Scar. I knew him, Skip. A fellow of infinite jest.
That is the magic of Wwise. That's spatial audio. And it's made possible by these tools, and it doesn't just stop there. It also handles adaptive music,
Keep your head down!
Up there! We have to get away from here, Jones!
What, no sightseeing?
Europe is already a powder keg.
allowing composers to break down their tracks into layers that can shift seamlessly based on what's happening in the game. In a stealth mission, you might hear a soft, ambient layer. Get spotted by a guard, the tension ramps up, and additional layers kick in. Escape successfully, the music revolves into a triumphant theme. And what makes Wwise and tools like that so revolutionary is its ability to handle all of this complexity without breaking a sweat. For developers, that means more time to focus on creativity and less time wrestling with code. For players, it means richer, more immersive experiences. Machine Games didn't just create one of the most beautiful games with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, but also one of the best sounding ones. Have you heard those punches?
Out of my way, pal! Tina!
Saber Interactive's work on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
The Astropath relay is 4 miles from here. Expect heavy Tyranid presence.
What of the archenemy?
Sporadic reports, but they are here.
Holy terror.
As soon as your transport lands, the eerie, distant boom of explosions start to paint a picture of what we're about to walk into.
Across the stars! But do we relent? No, sir!
The sound of Cadian soldiers preparing for battle as the sound of flamethrower is burning Tyrian carcasses. Tank tracks are rolling as they get into formation. And distant noises hint at something lurking.
The relay is ahead, through the arch.
Spores!
Engage!
So I guess we can say that sound isn't just something you hear, it's something you feel. It's the crackle of fire, the swell of music in the final boss's fight, the whisper that sends the chill down your spine. It's the magic we're often unaware of that turns the game from pixels and code into unforgettable experiences. So the next time you're playing, just stop and listen. And do let me know your favorite sound design moments in a game. Bye, 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 bye.